In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 different things that you need to be sure of before you accept an offer. Now, if you're watching this video, it probably means you've either gotten an offer or you're about to get an offer and you're kind of on the fence. Do I accept or do I not? It can be really easy to be excited about an offer and end up accepting without doing your due diligence. So in today's video, let's go through these 5 things and help you decide, is this an offer worth accepting? Let's go. Now, the first thing that you need to make sure of before you ever accept a new role is, do you feel that the role expectations are realistic? Nobody wants to go into a job where they don't feel they are set up for success. If the goals and objectives are too high and you don't feel like you can succeed in that role, well, that is not going to be a situation that is good for you. My advice, whenever you're interviewing and they get to the end and they ask you, okay, Ben, do you have any questions for us? One of the questions you absolutely need to ask every single time is, can you tell me, in the first 12 months, what needs to be accomplished from a goals and objective standpoint for this person to be considered a success? You need to ask a question like that, or that specific question. And then you need to listen to the hiring manager talk you through exactly what they feel needs to be accomplished. And then you have to decide if it's reasonable or not, because it is not going to be a winning situation for you if you accept a great job, but the goal line is way out of reach. Now, the second thing you need to make sure of is that you jive with the boss's leadership style. There are so many sayings that are cliche. You know, people don't leave companies, they leave managers. Or I'd rather work for a good manager at a bad company than a bad manager at a good company. Because it's true. Having a good manager makes a significant difference in your life, and the same can be said for having a poor manager. So you want to make sure that, one, you're going to work well with them and that you feel comfortable about the way they're going to lead. There are a lot of questions you can ask about this. You can ask, the question, can you tell me a little bit about your leadership style? You can ask them a behavioral interview question. Can you give me an example of a time where you had an employee fall below their objectives? What was your response in order to help them achieve their goals? Something along those lines. If you want a full list of questions to choose from, watch this video. This video, I give you, I think, 7 different questions you can ask the hiring manager that's going to help you form an opinion on whether or not their leadership style is going to work for you. Now, the next thing you need to make sure of is financials. You can never accept a job with a company if you don't feel they are in good financial standing. The last thing you want to do is start for a company. Next thing you know, they're going through some rough financial times, and they end up letting you go because you're a recent hire. So if they are a public company, it is really easy. You can look them up on Yahoo Financial, just search their company and you can find, how their stock's doing, different financial news. It becomes a little bit more complicated when the company is not public, because then the access to information might be a bit restricted. Either way, you should absolutely Google them, see if there's any recent news or articles around the finance of the company. Are they acquiring a company? Have they laid people off, etc.? Just do some research and due diligence. It's really important. Like if you don't do that and you accept a job and it's a great job, but a month later they start laying people off, that is going to be a really stressful situation. So you have to do your research, you have to look into it, and you have to feel good about where the company is from a financial standpoint. The next thing I would do is I would absolutely look at Glassdoor reviews. I would go to Glassdoor, I'd go to Google, I'd go to Indeed, and I'd read things that people have to say about the organization. If one person says something terrible or if one person says something amazing, that's not enough. That's an outlier potentially. But if you notice a theme and there are a lot of people saying the same things about the organization and they are not positive, that matters. I would take that into consideration. It is certainly something that I would want to know about. Before you ever accept a job with a company, you should absolutely just look at some of the reviews for people who are working and have worked for the company and make sure you feel good about it. Now, the last thing you need to do is you need to figure out if their culture is going to be a good culture fit for you. Some people don't really care about culture. I got to tell you, before my most recent company, I didn't put a lot of stock in it. But having experienced a good culture and a bad culture, I can tell you there is a world of difference. So how do you go about doing this? The first thing you should do is go to their website and go to the About Us section. Most companies will tell you a little bit about them, what's important to them. And a lot of times they'll have culture up there. They'll have different cultural values like respect and collaboration or whatever it is. But take a look at that. And then when you go into your interview, ask the people who are interviewing you questions around their culture. Different things like, Can you give me an example of the way your culture manifests in the day-to-day operations of the business? Things like that will tell you a lot, because people are going to say, oh, you know what? Excellence is really important to us. And every single day, all of our employees are striving to do excellent work. And that's a way that our culture kind of shows up just in the day-to-day operations, right? Or they're going to go, I don't know. I know we have cultural values, but it's really not a big deal to us. I think it's really important to not just ask the hiring manager that, but if you get into a panel interview, asking some of the people who are going to be on your team, can you describe the company culture to me? Or, I looked online and I saw that you have some company values. Which one of the values is most important to you? Different things like that. But I would absolutely dig into it, making sure that you're landing at a place where there is strong alignment from a value perspective is key. It can make a massive difference in how long you stay with a company, how much you enjoy being with a company, and whether or not you feel you fit in, which is really important when you look at the long term. So there you go. That's the video. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'm happy to answer them. If you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell, smash the like button. Good luck in your next interview. You got this.